Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. There was a taxi driver who was working the late night shift in the rural area of Jamaica. After dropping off his last fare, he decided to call it the night. It was midnight and it was generally slow at this time of the night anyway. It began to drizzle and a light wisp of low-brown fog would pop along the side of the road. As the driver continued along the main road, he could see a silhouette of a lady at the bus stop. Although the driver was off his shift, he really felt sorry for the lady and decided to pull over and make this trip to last for the night. He let the young lady in the back of the car. She was carrying a small carry-on bag. The young lady was very polite and thanked him for stopping. She said she was going to her parents' home at 55 Patricia Kempton Street. She closed the door and off they went. That was a 15-minute ride. She told the driver that she was tired and she had not seen her parents for a long time. Finally, the taxi reached her parents' home. It was a nice-sized ranch home with a Mediterranean touch to it. The home was located in the affluent side of town. The rider thanked the driver for the ride and told him to wait. She would run inside and come out with the money for the fare. The driver watched as she walked up the front door and put the keys in the door and entered the home. The taxi driver waited while he fidgeted with the radio, cycling through the FM radio station. He looked at the clock and noticed that 15 minutes had passed since the rider went in the home. The driver got out of the taxi and went up to the door and rang the bell. After a minute of ringing the bell, the front light of the home switched on and the front door slowly opened. A man in his late 40s slightly opened the door and asked the taxi driver how could he be of help. The taxi driver told him the story how he picked up the girl whose name was Jane and how she told him to wait outside till she come out with the fare for the ride. The driver explained he has been waiting for nearly 20 minutes. The owner of the home invited the taxi driver inside while he called his wife. The mother of Jane offered a hot cup of tea to the taxi driver and they all sit around the kitchen table. The mother explained to the driver that the girl he picked up was in fact her daughter Jane. She paused for a moment and then continued as she glanced at her husband. You see, my daughter Jane, she died 2 years ago. Near the same location where you picked her up. The taxi driver was shocked and in disbelief. The husband chimed and said that his daughter was on her way to their home from college when the car she was driving in had a fatal accident. They apologized to the taxi driver and offered him to pay the fare, but the driver refused and thanked them before he left, very distraught. He drove home that night, still could not believe what had happened. Later on, he shared his story with the other taxi drivers, and some of the drivers did report of a mystery girl who would hail them down, but when they stopped, there was no one in sight. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe. Thank you.